All right, good morning, everyone. I promise to change that picture by the next event that I'm invited to. So I'm going to talk about AI at the tactical edge. I think the easy topic is to talk about AI as an enterprise cloud-based solution, and it's a lot more difficult to talk about the edge. And what does that mean? We all have an edge, and it varies, from industry, from company to company, within the DOW. The edge changes based on who's talking about it. I don't know that it's a well-defined term necessarily. The Navy would probably call the edge a ship, the Air Force likely an aircraft. For this discussion, I'm going to define the tactical edge as a forward deployed unit who has the potential to be disconnected from the cloud capabilities, which is still kind of broad. That could still be a fairly large footprint, or it could be a small team of Marines. But the critical piece here, I think, is the potential to be disconnected, to have to do this with the organic assets that they have. And I think that's what makes this topic very difficult and very challenging. And I will just say clearly that we do not have this problem solved in the Marine Corps. We're still working it out. We did a workshop several weeks ago, the Marine Corps Generative and Agentic AI workshop, where we heard from a lot of Marines, we heard from a lot of companies on different problems and solutions on how we can address this problem and where it matters the most, which is probably the most critical thing, is understanding those problems so that we're applying the solutions where they matter. So a couple things on this slide I just want to talk about, which are a lot of the challenges that we have with a tactical edge capability. And we've heard from a lot of great speakers today talking about a lot of things that are really important. Agentic, having the MCP servers where they can communicate from model to model, agent to agent, governance, which is a great lead into my last slide here. But just looking at the things that we have to have with us, that the Marines have to be able to take with them and move as they are going to maneuver across the battlefield. Compute is probably, it's in the middle. I don't know if it's the #1 factor, but it's huge because we need to have the compute to run the models to do the work that we want them to do. And with that comes power to power the compute. We need cooling, which is often a challenge, especially in the Middle East where we've operated many times. It's very hot, and cooling is a problem. Mobility, how much equipment we have, is going to dictate how mobile we are, how fast we can move across the battle space. Bandwidth for when we are connected to the cloud or we're connected to other nodes is going to determine how much we can pass to be able to run these systems. And then the size of the model. So we're often going to have to reduce these models to a small size, possibly to fit on a laptop or a small form device so that we can run them and have them still be performant. And then signature, which is really how well the enemy can find us. If we have all this equipment, we have a lot of heat signature, we have a lot of power, it's going to be easier for those units to be found and located. So managing that signature is critical. And at the same time, these capabilities are things that we have to provide our warfighters if we're going to be competitive on the modern battlefield. And so these are problems that, again, are not solved, but they are problems that we're working towards and we need solutions to, and they're challenging. So one of those ways that we're getting after this is a project called Project Dynamis. It's a service level plan to modernize our CJAD C2, which is a fancy acronym for sensor to shooter pairing, which is we have the sensors collecting data, we have the shooters who are the Marines or the systems, and we have to have that integrated across not only the Marine Corps, but the entire department, so that we're integrated, we can operate together, and we can function. And so Project Dynamis, they are focusing on this experimental piece of, how do we do assured C2? How do we ensure that we have the command and control across the battle space awareness using AI and machine learning systems so that we understand the battle space. We can use those systems to do target detection, image classification, to be able to analyze intel reports, do social media analysis, all of those things using AI tools to be able to do this fast, rapidly, in a way that humans are unable to keep up with. And then C5ISRT, fancy acronym for basically being able to counter all those things. And Project Dynamis is really focused on two things. Maven Smart System integration, which I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff out for anyone that's not familiar with this, but Maven Smart System is a platform that we have in the DOW that is an incredible platform that does a lot of really great data engineering solutions. It also is a machine learning AI platform, and it also helps with a lot of things like governance and other components that are critical. So they're doing the integration of that so that we can make that a Marine Corps enterprise platform to be able to do those things. And then also there's a series of events that they're focused on, which is really getting out with the Marines and doing this stuff for real. It's one thing to talk about it, but we have to do it. If we don't do it for real in the situation and the environments that we're going to be in, we can't know that it's going to work. If it works in a lab, that doesn't mean it works for the Marines. So I'm running out of time, but the last thing, and this is really a great, I think, follow on to the last conversation, which is it's critical that we have trust, that we have the Marines trained, and that we have governance. Those are three essential things. If the Marines don't trust the technology, they won't use it. They're not going to get the benefit out of it. And we've seen that, and I've said it before. It doesn't help to have a self-driving car if they turn the self-driving function off and they drive the car themselves. We don't want to do that with our AI systems either. We need to ensure that they trust that system to do the thing that it's supposed to do, and also that they're trained on how to do it. And so the training is key, and it's challenging because there are a lot of places where we integrate AI solutions, or we're looking to integrate AI solutions, and we need to update our training. And that goes from the entry-level Marine who's joining and going to boot camp all the way through their career pathway and making sure that they have the training that matches the tools that they're going to use when they go forward and fight. And then governance, which again we just heard a lot about how important governance is. And that is critical because, again, we're not doing AI to do AI. We're doing it because we know there is an advantage, and we need to ensure that the solutions are provided as a response to the problem. And to do that, we need to have the Marines who understand the problems they face day in and day out, the challenges that they're facing, identifying those problems, being integrated with the solution, and then ensuring that solution is actually governed and trustworthy and is providing the value that they actually are asking for, and we're not giving a solution just to provide AI as a capability. So that's a little bit of what we're seeing at the Tactical Edge. We are doing an analysis of our workshop. We had 350 individuals from across the department, 102 companies that took part in it, and we have a lot of feedback that we've collected, and we're assessing it. And we're planning to use that to then drive our priorities on where are these problems, how do we ensure that we understand where AI needs to be integrated to solve those, and then how do we do it in a way that's safe, effective, and provides the value that the Marines are expecting. So that is all I have. Thank you very much.